making headlines this hour. President issues a directive to the Maldives' broadcasting sector, calling on media organizations to ground their work in the Islamic framework and to produce content that strengthens national identity and enhances the country's reputation. The First Lady, Sajida Muhammad, calls upon women working in enforcement agencies to cultivate the courage to confront opposition, emphasizing that their increased participation is crucial for building societal trust and ensuring widespread security. The Minister of Homeland Security and Technology, Ali Ihsan, condemns an opposition protest on Friday night, declaring it was not a peaceful demonstration after clashes erupted between the participants and police in the capital. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Minha Maroof. President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu issues a directive to the Maldives' broadcasting sector, calling on media organizations to ground their work in the Islamic framework and to produce content that strengthens national identity and enhances the country's reputation. The statement, released via social media in commemoration of Maldives' Broadcasting Day, outlines a clear ideological mandate for the nation's media professionals. It affirms the role of broadcasters not only as providers of information, but also as custodians of national values. In extending congratulations to service providers across the sector, President Muizzu highlighted the importance of aligning content with the country's foundational principles. He described broadcasters as key partners in shaping the nation's public image and cultural narrative. Broadcasting Day, observed nationally, serves to recognize the strategic importance of the media in public life. It highlights the sector's contributions to nation building, democratic engagement, civic awareness, and the dissemination of information. The occasion also marks a commitment to the continued development of the industry. Maldives' broadcasting history spans more than 6 decades. Radio services were first launched on 29 December 1962, followed by the introduction of television broadcasting on 29 March 1978, with the establishment of Television Maldives TVM. For much of their early history, radio and television services in the Maldives were delivered solely through government channels. That structure was formally dismantled in 2006 when the sector was liberalized to allow private entities to enter and participate in the broadcasting domain. The First Lady, Sajida Muhammad, calls upon women working in enforcement agencies to cultivate the courage to confront opposition, emphasizing that their increased participation is crucial for building societal trust and ensuring widespread security. She made these remarks at the opening ceremony of the Maldives Women in Policing Summit 2025 held at Crossroads, Maldives, convened under the theme Empowered Women, Safer Communities, brought together multiple stakeholders to discuss the advancement of women in security professions. Addressing the gathering, First Lady Sajida extended her gratitude to the Ministry of Homeland Security and Technology and the Maldives Police Service MPS for organizing the specialized summit. She highlighted that such initiatives create vital opportunities for women within enforcement services, advocating for their participation to be viewed as an integral, acceptable norm rather than a mere specialty. She challenged the perception of enforcement duty as solely uniform-centric, asserting that it encompasses individuals devoted to justice, courage, and seeking positive change. The First Lady further elaborated on the practical benefits of greater female representation, noting that it significantly enhances public confidence, particularly among women and children, in reporting incidents. She said this increased trust leads to a rise in cases filed, crucial for addressing complex modern challenges such as cybercrime, human trafficking, and extremism, which demand diverse perspectives for effective solutions. Madam Sajida urged participants to maximize the opportunities presented by the summit and welcomed the agreement signed between enforcement agencies aimed at the development and empowerment of women within these critical sectors. The landmark three-day event, designed to significantly enhance the role and leadership capabilities of women within the nation's police service and broader security sector. The summit, held at the picturesque Crossroads complex, underscores a concerted effort to recognize and advance the invaluable contributions of female officers. The inaugural summit was officially launched by the First Lady, signaling the high-level commitment to gender equality in law enforcement. She was joined by the Minister of Homeland Security and Technology, Ali Ihsan, and Commissioner of Police, Ismail Naveen, at the opening ceremony, which saw the participation of over 50 delegates from various security and law enforcement agencies, as well as international partners and experts from 5 countries. A co-objective of the summit is to build upon the foundation laid by the Women in Policy Committee, established on 17 September 2021. This committee was specifically created to acknowledge the integral role of women police officers and to champion their professional advancement. The Maldives has made considerable strides in expanding opportunities for women in its police service. In March of last year, 3 female police officers were promoted to the rank of SSP for the first time, marking a historic achievement. Currently, women constitute approximately 20% of the police service, with ongoing initiatives ensuring their advancement into diverse departments without discrimination. The journey of women in the Maldivian armed and police forces began in March 1989, with 65 women soldiers initially joining the service, one of whom still continues to serve with distinction. The Minister of Homeland Security and Technology, Ali Ihsan, condemns an opposition protest on Friday night, declaring it was not a peaceful demonstration after clashes erupted between participants and police in the capital. The confrontation began when demonstrators from the opposition Maldivian Democratic Party (MDP) deviated from a pre-approved route, according to officials. The decision set off a series of confrontations and accusations of violence and obstruction of law enforcement duties. In a social media post, Minister Ihsan said the protest could not be considered legitimate political conduct. He added that seizing items from officers on duty amounted to a direct obstruction of law enforcement agencies. The protest began at 8:30 p.m. in the artificial beach area of Male. Authorities said it escalated when participants moved onto Majidi Magu, a major thoroughfare, in violation of an earlier agreement with police. Police reported that they had issued repeated warnings and advised demonstrators not to proceed along the unauthorized route. Officials said the protesters did not comply. In a statement, the Maldives Police Service said demonstrators confronted officers, threw stones and water bottles, and attempted to seize police equipment. The police described these actions as a direct obstruction of their ability to perform official duties. Authorities confirmed that legal proceedings will be initiated against individuals identified as responsible for the unrest. We will be back after the Isha prayers.
الله.
الله أكبر. 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 الله أ
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدًا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وابعثه مقامًا محمودًا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Fashion Komeduahaku Agadi Tirihuga PSM Newsing.
Hi everyone, it's Makbulos from TRT. I'll be leading an exciting training under the BM Training Initiative on social media strategy and storytelling. Join me at Seneca Auditorium and let's learn, create and grow together. See you in the Maldives.
Welcome back to PSM News in English. The Minister of Homeland Security and Technology, Ali Ihsan, declares that discrimination would have no place within the Maldives' enforcement agencies, emphasizing that skill, ability, and passion for work would be the sole criteria for employees. The minister made these remarks at the inaugural Women in Policing Summit in the Maldives, marking a significant step towards gender equality in the security sector. During the summit, a landmark interagency declaration on leadership capacity development of women in security and enforcement sector of the Maldives was signed by the Maldives Police Service, Maldives Correctional Service, Maldives Immigration and Maldives Customs Service. Minister Ihsan landed this joint initiative as the beginning of a significant pathway to ensure equal opportunities for women. The minister highlighted the growing courage and determination of women in enforcement, noting these qualities are crucial for overcoming challenges and safeguarding society. He observed a positive shift in societal attitudes towards women in such authoritative roles, acknowledging that women are now proving their capability for significant leadership responsibilities. This, he stated, underscores the government's commitment to eliminating gender discrimination and fostering equal opportunities. He reiterated that the future direction of the field is clear, where priority will be given based on an individual's skills, abilities, and passion, with an explicit assurance against gender-based discrimination. The minister also stressed the importance of international cooperation and collaboration with various international agencies, describing them as a major driving force for the development of enforcement agencies. He expressed belief that the insights and experiences from experts in leading global agencies will provide a substantial advancement for the entire Maldivian security sector. The summit brings together representatives from 7 Maldivian security and law enforcement agencies, alongside 10 international partners, including UNODC, Interpol, UNICEF, and UNDP. Experts from India, Japan, China, the UK, and Australia are also sharing their experiences and insights. Over the next 3 days, participants will engage in extensive discussions covering a wide array of topics. These include developing work skills for women officers across various enforcement agencies, addressing the unique challenges they face, and exploring practical solutions. Specialized sessions are slated for areas such as investigation, technical skills, and intelligence operations. A significant component will involve sharing and developing best practices and work experience gleaned from developed countries and international agencies. The Governing People's National Congress, PNC, issues a formal condemnation of a recent protest organized by the opposition, Maldivian Democratic Party (MDP), describing the demonstration in the capital as unlawful and calculated to disrupt public order. The party has called for legal action against those allegedly responsible for acts of violence and obstruction. According to the PNC, the protest breached the terms of permission granted by the Maldives Police Service (MPS). Although the MDP had initially consulted with authorities and agreed upon designated routes and procedures, the ruling party contends that these agreements were disregarded during the demonstration. The statement details several alleged infractions, including the forcible crossing of police barricades and obstruction of officers in the execution of their duties. Protesters reportedly hurled stones and bottles and attempted to seize police shields. The PNC reiterated its support for the constitutional right to peaceful assembly, but stressed that freedoms must be exercised within legal boundaries. It argued that the events in Male represented a deliberate attempt to destabilize the country under the guise of protest. That characterization, the party maintained, reflects a broader concern about democratic integrity. Political engagement, it asserted, must be pursued through institutional channels, public debate, formal submissions, and electoral participation. Departures from these norms, the statement warned, amount to an attack on democracy. The PNC further noted that those elected through free and fair elections must be afforded the opportunity to govern without obstruction. It concluded by underscoring the public's desire for political stability and responsible leadership. Beyond its legal and democratic framing, the party raised concerns about the humanitarian and logistical dimensions of the protest. It reported receiving credible information that basic provisions, including food and accommodation, had not been arranged for individuals transported from various islands. As a result, many were left stranded on the streets of Male, PNC alleged. The ruling party described this outcome as a grossly negligent act on the part of the MDP, inconsistent with its stated commitment to representing the interest of ordinary citizens. The statement also commended the MPS for its handling of the situation, citing professionalism and restraint. The party expressed gratitude for efforts to safeguard public rights and maintain order, and stated that any assault on law enforcement personnel constitutes an attack on the citizenry itself. In closing, the PNC reiterated its condemnation of the protest's disruptive actions and called for appropriate legal measures to be taken against those found to have violated the law. The Dow and S&P 500 registers record closing highs even as the U.S. government shutdown went on for a third day, with interest rate cut expectations improving as the U.S. government shutdown went on for a third day, while the Nasdaq eased. Shares of big tech-related names mostly fell. Shares of Applied Materials were down after the chip equipment maker late Thursday forecast a $600 million hit to fiscal 2026 revenue. Shares of Tesla also were lower, while the S&P 500 utilities gained. The U.S. government shutdown dragged on for a third day. Investors were still able to digest a survey by the Institute for Supply Management, which showed the services employment index contracted for the fourth consecutive month. The news underscored the case for more interest rate cuts from the Fed. The market has historically been mostly unaffected by shutdowns, but some strategists said that a longer shutdown could create more uncertainty for investors and for Federal Reserve policymakers. According to preliminary data, the S&P 500 gained 0.47 points or 0.01% to end at 6,715.82 points, while the Nasdaq Composite lost 63.19 points or 0.28% to 22,780.86. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 242.00 points or 0.52% to 46,761.72. Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee said he was hesitant to commit to a series of rate cuts with inflation still running above the target. Senior Hamas official Musa Abu Marzouk tells Al Jazeera in an exclusive interview that the group would not disarm before the Israeli occupation ends, adding the issues over Gaza's future should be discussed within a comprehensive Palestinian national framework, which Hamas will be part of. The official added that Hamas will enter negotiations on all issues related to the group and its arms. Hamas said on Friday it would agree to some of the terms in U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to end the Gaza war, including releasing hostages, but avoided addressing more vexing issues like disarmament and said it would seek further negotiations.
We're talking about the conditions to release. All the president, the first conditions that the war should stop, as President Trump said. If we release all of the war prisoners, the war gonna stop. The second condition, the Israeli should withdraw from Gaza Strip. The third condition, there is all of the humanitarian help for the people in Gaza because they are suffering and they are in hunger and they are, you see, in very bad shape because the humanitarian aid closed since many months. Then they should release all of the occupation areas to go back to the border between Gaza and them.
In a post on his Truth Social platform, Trump said he believed the statement from Hamas showed it was ready for a lasting peace and added that Israel must immediately stop the bombing of Gaza. Hamas issued its response to Trump's 20-point plan after the president gave the Palestinian group until Sunday to accept or face grave consequences. Aprilia's Racing Marco Bezzecchi seizes a dominant pole position in qualifying for the Indonesian Grand Prix after demolishing the lap record at Mandalika, while newly crowned 2025 MotoGP champion Marc Marquez qualified a lowly ninth. Bezzecchi's blistering lap of 1 minute and 28.832 seconds was enough to comfortably finish ahead of Spanish duo Fermin Aldeguer riding for Gresini Racing and Raul Fernandez of Trackhouse, who will line up second and third respectively.
It's mandatory, it's true that I'm quite quick, but the pace seeing from the FP2 result was pretty close between me and many others many other riders that are super quick. And as you know, in MotoGP you can never relax. So I'm happy for the qualifying for sure, because it's also the grid for tomorrow, not only today. And this is important, but now we still have to do the main part of the weekend, that are the races. So yeah, let's keep ourselves focused and let's try to make our best.
The session also marked a significant milestone for Aldeguer, the 20-year-old rookie, securing his first front-row start in MotoGP. Yamaha's Alex Rins and KTM's Pedro Acosta rounded up the top 5. Meanwhile, 2-time MotoGP champion Francesco Bagnaia struggled to maintain the momentum from his flawless Japanese Grand Prix weekend. The Ducati rider missed out on Q2 and will start a disappointing 16th on the grid for Saturday's sprint and Sunday's October 5th race. And that's all we have for now. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a pleasant day ahead.